Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the I'm Just Saying podcast by Anime Love. I am Anime Love, and again, we are on episode 4. Okay, so we're getting some content behind this. I hope it picks up, and I hope people enjoy it. So today we're actually going to talk about a total of 6 different topics. So I kind of want to there's been a lot of things going on recently and a few things I wanted to talk about. So I feel like there's nothing wrong with kind of pushing the limits today and kind of making an extra long episode. You know, gives you guys more to listen to and a little bit lengthier of a podcast this time around. So, some of the things we're going to talk about today, we are going to talk about Bronny James. Okay, this is the son of LeBron James. We're also going to talk about Mikey Williams. Okay, they finally have, I guess you could say, a settlement to his case finally. So we kind of know what's going to happen with him and what he has to do. We'll talk about that. I came across this as I was on YouTube, guys. We're going to talk about today what a father did to save his newborn son. I thought it was very touching, so I'd like to talk about it today. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about JuJuistu Kaisen and how I feel about that anime. We're also going to talk about Bill Burr and his wife. This kind of happened some time ago. I want to say it happened around UFC 295. But there was an incident between Bill Burr, his wife, and Donald Trump, apparently. And, you know, there's a lot of opinions on what exactly took place and how this affects Bill Burr and his audience moving forward. So I kind of have an opinion on that. And then the last thing we were going to talk about was... Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about, the thoughts of traveling to new places and possibly living there. Me and my family had thought about doing that at one point. So I kind of want to just talk about that, just something new and different to the channel. And that's it, man. So I think it's about a total of 6 different topics that we'll talk about today. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, this is for people who are at work or in the car. They cannot watch a video. They could just listen to it. This is for you guys. You know, I put a few pictures in here and there for people who actually visually watch it. But, this podcast is just for people who just want to listen in, okay? All right, so first things first, we are going to talk about Bronny James. All right, so Bronny James, again, is the son of LeBron James. He's the oldest son of LeBron James. So for those of you who do not know, Bronny James has committed to, I want to say the University of Southern California. I want to say it is USC. I want to say that's what it is. But he's committed to USC. And about 4 months ago, he was in practice with USC, and he suffered a cardiac arrest. He passed out, and doctors said that he actually suffered a cardiac event and stuff. So, again, that was about 4 months ago. It was recently released that Bronny James was cleared by his doctors to actually play for USC. Now, I don't know if that means I'm gonna be honest, guys. I really don't know too much about college sports and stuff, so I don't know when their season starts, when it ends, or anything like that. So I don't know if he's actually no. I take that back because LeBron James said that he was gonna miss a game to attend his son's first college game. So I think they're trying to get Bronny James playing this season. Okay. So I'm assuming that since the incident has taken place, he's seen a bunch of doctors. They've performed a bunch of tests, and the doctors have deemed him healthy and safe to play this very intense, high-pace basketball game with a college team. So, the doctors have cleared him. And basically, I just want to talk to you guys about how I feel about this, right? Now, I've watched Bronny James play ball. I've watched, not in person, but I've seen a lot of his highlights and stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to lie, guys. At first, when there was a lot of hype around him, I felt like he really wasn't that good. I felt like his videos were very heavily edited to make him look good. And to me, to me, it isn't out the realm of possibility that LeBron James would pay a very good video editor to, hey, bro, here goes, so and so, just make my son look good, make him look good so he could get offers and prospects and stuff like that. So, that would make sense, right? However, I did start to notice as time went on and as Bronny James got older, his skill level was getting a lot better. I noticed that his videos were less edited in a sense of there was less cutting and trimming of the content. It was showing his entire play as opposed to bits and pieces of it to make him look good, and didn't show the fact that maybe he missed the shot or he got the ball stolen or something like that. I noticed later on his videos were being left alone and it was showing the entire play, showing him executing the play and stuff. So as time went on, he did get a lot better. I mean, that kid, now granted, he's tall as shit, but he's like, or I guess I shouldn't say tall as shit, but his dad is like 6'7". I think Bronny James is like 6'1" or 6'2" or whatever. And honestly, bro, when it comes to dunking, I feel like as long as you're 6'1" or 6'2" and up, it's probably not that hard. You know what I'm saying? If you got some kind of hops, right? But yeah, I mean, when it comes to his dunking, that guy could jump out the gym. And then I noticed that his shots got a lot better, a lot more accurate, and he was able to do better when it came to shooting and stuff like that. I mean, his take-in game was always pretty good, taking the ball in, laying it up and stuff, maybe doing a floater. That was pretty good, but that also improved. So Bronny James became a well-rounded basketball player, right? But I'm not going to lie, I had seen other players that definitely seemed better than him. They were always trying to make it seem like Bronny James was going to be like the top of his class or top in the nation, but I saw other high school players that were looking better than he did. Mikey Williams being one of them. Okay. Okay, so, he was improving and stuff. He committed to the USC. And then when he was in practice, he suffered this cardiac arrest. Now, for those of you who do not know, cardiac arrest, I believe, is when your heart fails, to my knowledge. Like, your heart fails and they have to administer, CPR, which CPR is all that does is that's forcing your heart to pump the blood. That's why you got to push down so hard to the point to where you're pushing on the heart muscle and you're manually forcing it to pump blood throughout your body. But yeah, when you suffer cardiac arrest, they got to perform all these procedures on you to keep you alive, essentially, until, they can get you to the hospital and figure out exactly what is causing it or what did cause it and, fix it to where you're good again. Whether it's an electrical problem going on, like maybe, something happened or something like that, but it's very scary. Now, other than the fact that the doctor said he did suffer a cardiac arrest, a cardiac event, they haven't publicly said exactly what caused it, what's wrong, how did they fix it, or anything like that. They just said, hey, he's being cleared by his doctors to continue playing now. Now, this is how I feel about this, guys. I have seen stories of other athletes. I remember seeing one about an athlete in basketball. But I've seen stories about other athletes in different other sports that suffered cardiac arrests or cardiac events and have died. My wife actually just told me about a professional soccer player that recently suffered a heart attack I think in a game, and he died. And the crazy part is he had suffered a cardiac event in the past, and I guess the doctors had recommended to him, hey, just to be on the safe side, you might want to retire. And apparently he didn't, and he just suffered a heart attack and he died. The basketball player I'm referring to was a younger gentleman. I remember seeing a video where he played John Wall one-on-one. It was a little quick video. But he played John Wall one-on-one. Of course, John Wall ended up beating him, but he did pretty okay. But apparently this kid went on to play, college ball and stuff. And apparently at some point, after, I think he was in like his sophomore or junior year of like college ball, apparently he suffered a cardiac event and he died, but it's like, what you have to understand is when you're an athlete and you're trying to, play ball at a high level, whether it's college or NBA or, any kind of professional sports, you're pushing your body, specifically your heart, to these extreme levels, like when you're constantly running, whether it's doing suicides or laps or whatever to improve your endurance, like you're putting a lot of strain on your heart, dude. Some people genetically, they could push their bodies like that and they're fine. They could still live to be super old and, it's actually healthy for them. But for other people, maybe they just don't have as good of genes. And, when they push their body like that, they're putting so much strain on their organ, their heart, that you're actually causing it to become damaged. And once an organ becomes damaged, if you don't give it time to heal and recover and maybe even regenerate, you could be how do I put it? You could be increasing the pace of your own death. You could be fast forwarding the time on your own clock, so to speak. So, with that being said, I'm sure you guys can kind of deduce what I'm going to say. I personally think, bro, that Bronny James, look, bro, I understand. He's LeBron James' oldest son. He is very talented. He's about to start this college career. A lot of great things are in that kid's future. But I just think that to be on the safe side, bro, he should probably just hang it up, Excuse the noise. There's a plane passing by. But yeah, bro, I think he should just probably hang it up, man. And, I understand some people might feel like, nah, bro, like, that's how the great become great. They keep pushing even when people tell them they shouldn't. Look, bro, you only get one life. You know what I'm saying? And when it's gone, it's gone. When it's fucking curtains, bro, you're gone. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that a lot can come with him continuing to play basketball, fame, money, his own money, because obviously his dad is super fucking rich, but that's his dad's money, This is an opportunity for Bronny James to accumulate his own wealth and money and stuff. I understand that, the fame, just a great life in general, that comes with being a superstar athlete. But you're taking a big risk. Now, a lot of people might be saying right now, to their TV as they're watching this, well, he got cleared by the doctors. Let me tell you guys something, bro. Doctors are just regular people, bro. They're not fucking wizards. They're not, all knowing. Like, there's a lot of shit that doctors don't know, and some doctors are so, egotistic and, their pride is just too much. Sometimes they don't have the modesty and the humbleness to just tell somebody like, hey, bro, I'm going to keep it real with you. All the tests we're doing and stuff look good, but at the end of the day, bro, we don't know what caused this cardiac arrest. So if you go back into putting your body under these intense conditions when you play, it could happen again, So based off of your results, I can tell you, hey, I mean, you can play, according to these results. But would I recommend it? No, but I'm sure that his doctors ain't telling him that. They're probably just telling him like, yeah, you could play, everything looks good, so I'm sure that happens all the time. How many times, guys, how many times have you heard stories where somebody wasn't feeling good? They went to the ER, saw doctors, they performed all these tests. The doctor said, yeah, everything looked good. Well, send you on home. And then on their way home or once they get home, their condition worsens and they end up dying. You know what I'm saying? They end up having a heart attack or, just whatever causes their death. Like, it happens all the time, bro. Just because a doctor tells you you're fine does not mean you're fine. Okay? So, and I'm saying that from personal experience, bro. I got shit going on with me. I keep going to the doctors and shit, and every time they perform tests, they might see very subtle signs of side effects of what is going on with me, different things that it's causing, but they can't pinpoint the source of, okay, this is what's going on, and because this is going on, it's causing all this other stuff to go on. No, they're like, we see all this other stuff going on, but we don't know what the root of it is. We don't know what the source of it is. You know, we don't know how we can fix it so that you're normal again. You know, some of them have just straight up told me like, nah, everything looks good. You're fine. You're normal. And it's like, no, I'm not. I feel like shit, you know, and stuff. So again, I'm speaking from personal experience. Just because a doctor tells you that you're fine does not mean you're fine. So I personally think that Bronny James should care more about having a life as opposed to, you know, being super famous and stuff. And I think he should just hang it up. I think if anything, maybe Bronny James should, you know, become like a sportscaster, you know, and stuff, you know, like RG3, you know, in the NFL. You know, he kept messing his knees up, his legs up and stuff. He eventually retired. And, you know, now he's a sportscaster. You know, I mean, he still gets paid well. He's still on TV. People still know who he is and where he is and stuff. Plus, you got all this social media stuff, you know, like I'm sure Bronny James could do his own podcast and he would do well. There's other things that he can do, especially with the type of money that he has from his dad and stuff. I think that, you know, he would be just fine. Now, am I saying, do I think he shouldn't work out anymore? No. You know, of course you want to stay healthy, so he should still work out and stuff like that, but just not to the intense levels in which you would push yourself if you were trying to make it to the NBA, such as he is, okay? So that's what I think, man. And I think, honestly, I think as a father, if I was LeBron James, that would probably be my decision too, you know. Now at the end of the day, it's his son's life, and now his son, I'm assuming his son is over the age of 8. He's either 18 or older, so he could obviously make his own decisions. So, you know, I mean, I guess if LeBron wants to say, hey son, you know, if you want to hang it up, I understand that. I actually even recommend it, but at the end of the day, it's your decision. If you want to continue, you know, then I'll support you. You know, I guess I don't know, bro. As a parent, I would probably just tell my kid like, it ain't worth your life, man. Just hang it up. We'll figure something else out for you to do. Again, you know, we could set up all these social media stuff for you and stuff like that, but I definitely don't think that continuing these high intensity, you know, games, putting his heart under all that stress and pressure, I just don't think that's the answer, bro, regardless of what those doctors say. Regardless, because you got to think about it too. At the end of the day, bro, doctors don't get in trouble. I don't know if y'all noticed that. When a doctor gives you a misdiagnosis, or they you know, medically neglect you because they're not doing the right tests, they're not taking your situation seriously. When a person dies, for the most part, bro, nothing happens to doctors. They don't get prosecuted. They don't go to jail. They don't got to give up all their money. Like, they're fine. They continue seeing patients. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're fine. So, yeah, bro. I don't know, man. I don't think that Bronny James should continue. So that's just my opinion. But you know, other than that, bro, I wish Bronny James the best of luck. I of course hope that he doesn't suffer another cardiac event. You know, if he is going to continue with his basketball career, I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope that he's fine. You know, I hope he can play really hard and be okay. But I'm basically saying it wouldn't surprise me, you know, God forbid, if, you know, he continues to play hard, you know, for college and maybe even the NBA, and something happens, you know. But again, God forbid, you know, good luck to that young man, and I hope he's okay. I hope he's gonna continue to be okay. All right. So the next thing, and this is a real quick one, guys, you know, and this is honestly, this is kind of like following the theme of, you know, a parent looking out for their kid and stuff. So I was kind of surfing through YouTube and stuff, and I came across this article, this story, where it said a father had saved his newborn son. So I clicked on it, you know, because I like to see stuff like that. I like to see people, overcome a condition or an illness. So I clicked on it, and I was very curious too how this father helped save his son. But I clicked on it, and basically, to sum it up, guys, this newborn boy was born with a rare disorder where I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was born with this rare disorder to where he was suffering a lot of symptoms and stuff like that, and I think they were doing things to treat it, but it really wasn't helping that much. But apparently, the only cure for it, to get it to just completely stop, was for the young baby to receive a liver transplant. Okay. Now, apparently, the young baby was too young to the point to where the father and the mother were not candidates. They were not eligible to give him their liver, right? But I guess they waited some time and they let the baby boy get a little bit older. And apparently he got old enough to the point to where they said he could, in fact, receive one of his parents' liver. Now, I didn't know this, but apparently you can donate, I'm assuming, part of your liver. Like, you don't have to, I guess you don't have to donate all of your liver. So you could donate part of your liver to somebody, and you could still live yourself. And of course, you're allowing them to live as well. So apparently, once the boy became old enough, the father was able to donate part of his liver to his son and save his life. Not only save his life, but like cure whatever condition he was suffering from. So that's exactly what the father did, bro. Like what's the word they use? He was a match for his son, which makes sense. They share the same genes and DNA and stuff. So he was a match for his son, and he gave his son part of his liver. And so far, they're saying it's a success and that the boy should be fine. That was a really beautiful story that I saw. I just wanted to, show you guys, talk to you guys about it and stuff. I love to see that, bro. I love to see parents do anything for their children, because I've seen so many horrible parents out there, or stories of horrible parents, just neglecting their children, mistreating their children, just horrible stuff. So I love to see stories like this where, a parent is willing to die or literally give up a part of their own health to save their child. I thought it was a very beautiful story. I hope that dad lives a long life. I hope that their son lives a long life. And I hope that because he received a liver from his own father, because for those of you who do not know, when you receive a organ transplant from someone who is a match per se, or like they're a match per se, like they have your same blood type, but obviously they have different genetics. After you receive their transplant, you have to be on immune suppressants, because what's going to happen is your body's immune system will recognize the organ as a foreign substance in your body, because they recognize that it's not of your same DNA. And you get put on immune suppressants to keep your immune system from continuing to attack that organ and basically kill it and stuff, even though it's the one thing that's keeping you alive. And because of that, certain people with transplants, even though they get to live longer, some people don't live as long as others because their immune system destroys it. So, but some people are lucky, man. Some people, I read a story where a woman who received a heart transplant is still alive to this day, and it was like 20 years later after she received the transplant. So for some people, they can live a long time. But I'm hoping that since this young man, this baby, received a transplant from his own father, I'm hoping that his body doesn't recognize it as a foreign substance, and hopefully he could just live a long life with that. Hopefully he could live to be, I don't know, 80 years old, gift from his father. So good luck to that man and his son. I thought that that was a really brave thing to do because, I'm sure not having a full liver, is gonna affect the father's, health and life and stuff. But hey, man, when it's your children, a really good parent will do anything. You know, for me, it's like even if it means giving my life up, if I gotta donate a whole organ to my child to keep them alive, and I gotta, go myself, like I'm willing to do that. I love my kids, and I'm willing to lay it on the line for them if I have to. So yeah. Um. So yeah, that's it for that one. Um. All right, so we're going to talk about this one here, and then I'll probably take a little bit of a break. You guys won't notice the break because what I'll just do is I'll combine both of the clips, and it'll just immediately start. But I think I'm going to take a break after this. So one thing I really wanted to talk about real quick is, and then after I talk about this, we'll talk about JuJuistu Kaisen, the anime and the manga. So we'll kind of get on anime for a little bit. But let's talk about the source of anime. So for a little period there, my family and I, we actually talked about, hey, should we entertain the idea of moving to Japan? Now, a lot of you might be like, some people might understand, like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. And then some people might be like, why would you want to move to Japan, right? So hear me out here. Hear me out here. So the reason that my family and I even considered moving to Japan, the number one thing is the direction that the United States of America is going, when it comes to politics and, the way that we've been seeing the citizens and the residents of the United States of America treat each other. There's been a lot of hate going around in this country, been a lot of racism and stuff like that. And we really just didn't like what we were seeing. We didn't like the direction we saw things were going. My wife said she even saw something about the state of Mississippi is something about like it's working on basically making a segregated city within the state. And apparently that's like, the government is going to let it happen, or something like that. And I don't know what the fuck, I don't even really like to read too much into it because it's just a horrific thing. And we all know that Mississippi, by history and by current times, Mississippi is one of the most still racist states in the U.S. I hear a lot of stories and you hear a lot of stories and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. But yeah, because we just observed and noticed a lot of things like that, we were like, man, we might need to get the fuck out of here because as you guys can see, and as I've pointed out in the past, me and my family, we're all partially black. I'm half black. My wife is like about 75% black. And my children are, probably about 75% black, so yeah, like we in the U.S., in United States of America, we notice, certain things, and even when we go places, we notice certain stares and looks and treatment and stuff like that. So we don't really want our daughters to have to experience that. So we were thinking like, should we move to another country? Would it be better in another country, right? And then of course we started to think of what are some of the places we would consider. Now I know at one point my wife had brought up South America, somewhere in South America. I can't remember if it was like Brazil or you know Puerto Rico or somewhere like that, but I kind of thought to myself, I was like, like I'm sure that there are beautiful places in those countries, but I've also seen photos and videos of not so nice places in those countries and how they're kind of third worldish and the medicine isn't the greatest and stuff like that. So I'm like, nah, I'm not really feeling South America, um, and then we thought about New Zealand. We thought about the United Kingdom. We thought about almost everywhere. And I was even thinking about Africa, for a split second, like kind of like Southern Africa, I think. But, none of those places sounded good to us. However, me and my family, we have a very strong appreciation for Asian culture, okay, and Asian way of life kind of deal. Certain aspects of it, right? Certain aspects of it, and of course, we're really big fans of anime, manga, and we even like a lot of their shows. Like I know on Netflix has a lot of like Korean shows. Like we recently watched the show Bloodhounds, it was a Korean one season show. It was really good. Yeah, we watched quite a few. So we thought about Japan and we thought about what is it, South Korea? Hell, I even thought about China to an extent, not as much. I didn't think about China as much as I did Japan or South Korea, but even China, like I got a lot of respect. I grew up on kung fu movies and Jackie Chan and Jet Li and stuff. But even now, like China is breaking into the anime scene. They have that amazing show, Fog Hill of the Five Elements. That is a Chinese animation, and honestly, bro, that's one of the coolest animes I've ever seen. And there's things about their culture that I appreciate too. So we were definitely considering, one of these Asian countries. But I would say the one we were probably the most serious about was Japan itself. So a lot of things about Japan that we thought were pretty cool. Like for one, it said that Japan has like vending machines, like, in their cities. They have vending machines like all over the place, So if you need to get something to eat, like it's a little bit easier to access and stuff. And then just we love their food or cuisine. We've tried aspects of it. I've even I've looked up recipes and I've made some stuff myself here at home and stuff. We love their cuisine. And then we like certain things about their culture, like we like the respect that they show each other. Yeah, so there was a lot of things. Now, so eventually, and of course, again, we love anime and manga and stuff like that. So we're kind of thinking that if we were to move down there, maybe we might, be able to get even more in-depth experience of anime and manga. Also, too, not to mention, Japan has a lot of theme parks out there. They have a Universal Studios, and when they set up the Universal Studios, it's a lot of the times it's anime themed or Nintendo themed. So we thought that was really cool. And I think my wife said they even have like a Disneyland or something like that out there. I can't remember, but they have some cool stuff out there. So it was kind of, we were really giving it some thought. However, the more and more we thought about it, we ended up changing our mind. And the reason we ended up changing or some of the reasons we ended up changing our mind is, specifically me, is I started to think about certain things. One of the main things I thought about is, you kind of have an idea of how a place is going to be, but realistically, when you get there, it's usually not all it's cracked up to be, and you actually start to see sides of a place that, you didn't really think about before, but it's like, of course it's going to be, wherever you go in the world, people are people. You're going to have good people, you're going to have bad people, you're going to have, rich, classy people, you're going to have poor people, you're going to have grimy people, you're going to have evil people. And I'm like, I'm sure when we go down there, it's not going to be as great as we think it's going to be, especially when you're not rich, right? You're going to, experience stuff and see stuff that you probably prefer not to. Okay, so that was the main thing. Second thing is none of us know Japanese, so we would have to go down there and learn we'd have to learn the language, hopefully, before we went down there. And honestly, I don't really think any of us are willing to do that anytime soon. And then another thing that I thought about was work. I've watched a lot of videos on Japan and stuff, and it looks like apparently when you're a foreigner, they call it anybody who's not from Japan or is not originally Japanese, they call you a foreigner, right? And apparently, just like any other place, though, even if you're a foreigner, you may get treated better than other foreigners. For example, a white foreigner may be treated a lot better than a black foreigner. Okay. I'm just going based off of what I've seen. This is actual Japanese people being asked these questions by foreigners, and they're being honest. They're like, I've seen certain foreigners get treated well. I've seen certain foreigners get treated not so well. They've also said sometimes it's hard to get a job as a foreigner. They just kind of feel like, nah, I don't even know you like that, bro. I don't want you working with me or working here. So, it might be hard to like survive financially, and stuff. So there's that. And, the other main thing that really made me think and say, nah, yeah, I don't want to do this. So the main thing, now this is kind of far-fetched. Some people might be like, this is kind of far-fetched, bro. Like, you might be thinking a little bit too much into it. But, I'm gonna talk about it anyway. The main thing, you guys got to understand, I'm a father, right? Me and my wife, we have 2 daughters together. And my 2 babies they're my angels, bro. I can't live without them. I need them in my life. I need them to be safe and happy, right? One thing that I thought about is when you go and you live in another country, not only are you a foreigner, but like in a way, bro, you got to think like, because you're not from there, you're technically behind enemy lines, so to speak. Now, a lot of you might be like, Corey, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? It's fucking Japan. Well, let's not forget. In World War II, Japan and the U.S., they fought each other, and a lot of people died. Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, and the U.S. dropped nuclear bombs on Hiroshima, and I think another place out there, killed hundreds of thousands of people, bro. And even people who didn't get killed from the bomb were badly maimed and, exposed to radiation and stuff like that. Like, there's some bad blood between Japan and the United States of America. Not to mention, when this war was taking place in both countries, both in Japan and in the United States of America, they took people of those ethnic groups, whether they were prisoners of war or people who just so like Japanese people who just so happened to live in America because they chose to make America their new home. And I'm assuming the same for Japan. Maybe any Americans that chose to live in Japan and make Japan their new home, guess what they did? They opened up or created concentration camps, and they threw all those people in there. Now, guys, let's not beat around the bush, bro. Concentration camps are, they're not a pleasant place. They're a place where you get put just because you're a certain race of people, and you get you don't get fed properly, you get mistreated, you probably get abused, and stuff. Like, it's not cool, right? And again, Japan had concentration camps for prisoners of war of America, and probably even, people who resided in Japan who were American. And America did the same I think America just threw Asian people in general in concentration camps. Like, you probably didn't even have to be Japanese. Like, I'm sure people who were Chinese or Korean or, Filipino or something like that probably got thrown in there too. And of course, both of these countries made the excuse, oh, we're putting them in concentration camps because we got to make sure that they're not communicating with, the country that we're at war with. And, unfortunately too, both in America as well as Japan, a lot of the people in the concentration camps were killed, whether it was by illness from, again, not being treated, very well, not being fed or given the right medical treatment and stuff. And sometimes some people were just executed. So I had to think to now, of course, a lot of people are like, okay, bro, well, that's World War II. We're not at war with them. Everything's all good. Yeah, everything's all good now. And of course, I hope it stays that way. I am not an advocate for war. I don't believe in it. I think that everything could be resolved between countries, through, just talking. I don't think we need to be, at war with each other and stuff. But just because that's the way I feel doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. I'm not a politician. I don't make those decisions. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not going to fight nobody's war. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. I thought to myself, like, what if we moved out there and for whatever reason, a war between Japan and the crazy thing is right now we have an alliance with Japan, right? Like, we're good. We're partners with Japan. Like, we tell Japan all the time, like, hey, bro, if China tries to start some shit with y'all, hit us up. We got you. You know what I'm saying? We gonna come to your aid, and vice versa. If we get into some shit with whoever, you know what I'm saying? Japan's supposed to come to our aid. You know what I'm saying? But you just never know, bro. You never know if shit'll switch up. And it's like, if we go and live in another country, specifically Japan, and then something happens and then they're no longer cool with the US, like, bro, it's like, you gotta hurry up and get out of Japan. Cause not to mention do you gotta worry about being taken to a concentration camp by, that country, but then you also gotta worry about, well, what if the US decides to bomb them again? And we're there. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro, there's just too many variables in the air for danger. And then not to mention, we don't know the language, so we could be taken advantage of when we get out there by somebody. So, we just ultimately thought, like, it might be a cool place to visit, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing too, like, you should always visit a place before you decide to live there, and stuff. But ultimately we were just like, it might be a cool place to visit, but to live, to be on the safe side, we probably shouldn't. And then of course too, not to mention, like, you'll probably get homesick. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though you can appreciate certain things about another culture, ultimately you'll probably get homesick and be like, yeah, I didn't really like these things about where I used to live, where I'm from, but I miss these things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we just kind of came to the decision, the decision that we were going to just, stay in the U.S. and, take the good with the bad. And, still appreciate other cultures, but appreciate them in our homeland, and fortunately and unfortunately, our homeland is America, United States of America, North America. So, yeah, man, that is the story about us considering to move to Japan, but changing our minds. But okay, guys, I'm going to take a quick break. And like I said, you guys aren't going to notice the difference because I'm going to mesh both of the videos together. So as soon as I finish my break, I'll start recording the other half of this and you guys will get the rest. All right. I'll see you guys in a bit. All right. What's up, guys? So we are back. Like I said, just had to take a break. It's kind of a lot sitting down and talking about all this content at once. So, sometimes you got to break it up a bit. So, now let's go on with the podcast. We are going to talk about JuJuistu Kaisen, both the anime and the manga. All right. So, JuJuistu Kaisen is a pretty well-known now anime, and a lot of people like it. A lot of people think that the anime is pretty cool, the characters are cool, and stuff like that. Now, here's the thing. My first introduction, for the most part, to JuJuistu Kaisen was the first fight that took place, I think in like the first or second episode, where he ate the finger, he turned into, or the demon came in him, or that sounds horrible. That sounds horrible. Oh, that sounded horrible. The demon awoke within him. And then he started fighting. I think the guy's name is Gojo, the guy with the purple hair. He wears a bandana around his eyes or whatever. Honestly, I kind of hate to spoil, I don't want to spoil like the big reveal, but I think Gojo's look is so stupid. I know in the newer season, I think they have him wearing glasses instead, which is way better, but the whole bandage thing around his eyes, it's like, really, dude, come on. It's just silly, like, oh, he has to be so mysterious. Niggas can't even see his eyes. Get the fuck out of here, bro. And then when he fucking reveals his eyes, he's got like fucking, what are they, like blue eyes or something? It's like, that's the thing about, this is one of the things I notice about Japanese anime and manga. And look, I'm not trying to offend Japanese people, but I'm just calling it how I see it. And I'm just calling it from what I see in their anime and mangas all the time. They're constantly making characters who are supposed to be Japanese, but they have blonde hair and they have like blue or green eyes or something like that. You know, Japanese people, unless they have children with like a Caucasian person, a white person, they don't have those features. They usually have either black or brown hair, and they usually have just like, brown or light brown eyes. That's it. And it's like in all the animes and in all the mangas, there's so many characters that have those features. It's like, do y'all want to be white? It's weird. It's weird to me, bro. Especially because they draw so many characters that have those features, but they almost never draw characters that have black features. Like every once in a great while, you might get an anime that has some black characters in it, but even sometimes then, the way they draw them is slightly offensive. Like in, I know in One Punch Man, the first season, the anime, they showed Super Alloy Darkshine with like these big ass lips, and he looked weird, bro. And it was kind of offensive, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I just think that Gojo's appearance is stupid. He looks like he wants to be white, but he's a Japanese character. It's just confusing to me. And then the purple hair, bro, it's like, come on, guys. He looks like a fucking clown. You know what I'm saying? To me. That's all I'm saying. But I came across their fight scene and I thought it was cool. I was like, okay, this Gojo character is clearly tough, and stuff like that. But, it was cool. But I was like, you know what? That was a cool fight scene and stuff. I'm gonna watch it later, in depth. So a long time had passed, and the movie had came out for JuJuistu Kaisen. Now, mind you, by this time, I still have not watched any of the episodes in full. I just haven't had the desire to, and it could have something to do with some of the things that I had saw in that clip. I was just kind of like, But here's the thing. Within that time, though, I did notice the manga, right? Because I would go and I'd collect other manga, and, I'd grab a JuJuistu Kaisen manga, and I would look in it. So I want to say this about the manga. The manga, the art in the manga is amazing. The art in the manga is phenomenal. I don't know who the artist is, but the artist is really good. Okay. My wife thinks that the main mangaka for the JuJuistu Kaisen manga is a female. And if so, that's fine. And she's an amazing artist. Like, honestly, whoever draws the JuJuistu Kaisen manga is probably in my top 5 mangaka artists. Yusuke Murata is definitely number 1, hands down. Kiyotaro Azuma is definitely in that top 5. And whatever manga artist does the JuJuistu Kaisen manga is in my top 5 as well. Really good artist. So when I saw that art, I said, okay, well, the fight scene I saw was pretty cool, and the art in this manga is amazing. I said, I'm going to start collecting these, because I'm sure it's going to be good. So I had collected about, I want to say, 17 volumes of the manga. So I had from 0, I think it was 0, all the way up to volume 17, okay? Now, like I said, the JuJuistu Kaisen movie had came out. Now some time had passed since it had came out, but eventually me and the wife and the kiddos, we got a hold of it and we started watching it. I think I got it from the Red Box or something like that. Or yeah, something like that. Or we might have seen it on Crunchyroll. I think we saw it on Crunchyroll. But we saw the movie. I'm sorry to all the JuJuistu Kaisen fans out there, but I'm going to just give my honest opinion. The movie was fucking garbage, bro. That movie sucked ass. Okay? The fight scenes in it were fucking weak. Even with Gojo, you know, the guy who's supposed to be like all powerful and shit. He was fighting this, you know, black character and he had this weird hat and stuff. But like he would fight him and he would like do all this crazy, you know, striking and stuff like that. And then he would like, as soon as he got done hitting the dude, he would like launch a power, you know, energy power strike at him. And the guy would immediately just like jump out the way and run. It's like, are your strikes weak as fuck, bro? Because the dude ain't even affected by it. Like the moment you stopped hitting him, he was like, all right, I'm good. You know, like, it's like you're trying to make it seem like Gojo's just so fucking strong and powerful, but then you make scenes like that where he punches the shit out of somebody, and then when he's done, the person is perfectly fine. It's like you're contradicting what you're trying to convey. You know, I'm not a big fan of the people who are creating and directing the anime. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And then the main antagonist, whatever that fucking guy's name is, his appearance doesn't even look cool, bro. He looks like a random dude with some Buddha fucking ears. He's wearing, you know, some type of dress looking thing, and that's it. He looks like a regular dude, bro. He don't look cool at all. His powers are weak as fuck. Like, and that's the way I feel about a lot of the characters. A lot of the characters do not look cool. A lot of them are wearing the same fucking outfit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, guys, what are we doing here? You have potential with this anime and this manga, but you guys are fucking, you're ruining it. You know, like, I think it's dumb. You know, I thought that the character who has the katana, if you guys don't know by now, I am a huge fan of anime characters that have katanas, especially when they're fucking, like, when they're nasty with it, bro. Oh my god. So there's that character in JuJuistu Kaisen that has the katana, and he has like the white sweater, the black pants and stuff. And I'm thinking, oh, he probably gonna be nasty with it. He was fucking weak with the bro. I was like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought the whole fucking thing was weak, bro. I'm not a fan of. You know what I ended up doing after I watched the movie? This is how bad the fucking movie was to me. The JuJuistu Kaisen movie. The movie was so bad, and I sat there and I watched the whole fucking thing. I believe. Even my wife, who is a fan of JuJuistu Kaisen, she's a fan of the manga, she's a fan of the anime. Even she was like, "Yeah, this fucking movie was boring. It was bad." So even she could admit that, right? But it was so bad. I straight up was like, "Here you go." I gave my wife all 17 or 18 volumes of the manga. And I told her, I said, "Look, I said, I love the art in this manga. Whoever does the manga is an amazing artist, and I love to look at the pictures because the art is that fucking good. But when you got characters that are this fucking boring, I think the only interesting character is the main character who eats the fingers and has the demon or whatever inside of him. And the demon itself is cool and looks cool. I like how he has the 4 arms, the 4 eyes and stuff. I think the main character looks cool and is cool. Everybody else, though, is fucking weak. They look stupid, and their powers are dumb. And I didn't even mention the fucking character that's essentially a fucking panda bear. Like, okay, guys. Okay. So, yeah, I gave her all 17 of the volumes. I said, here you go. You like the show. You know, I said I like the art, but I don't want to keep the books for the art when the story is this fucking bad. The story is bad. The characters are boring. The way they're drawn looks cool, like the anatomy and stuff. But their designs don't look cool. They're boring. I gave them to her. I said, here you go. She was happy. And honestly, it made me feel good to give her a gift like that. And I'm glad that she was happy with it. But I don't fuck with JuJuistu Kaisen, bro. Yeah. Never have, probably never will. I'm not saying that maybe every once in a great while there might be something cool in the anime or cool in the manga, but overall I think that the story is weak. I think the character designs are weak, and I just don't fuck with JuJuistu Kaisen like that. Hey, to everybody else out there who likes it, hey, I'm happy for you. I got my fair share, my handful of animes and mangas that I love. I love One Punch Man. I love My Hero Academia. I like Fire Force. I love Demon Slayer. I like Sakamoto Days. I like My Hero Academia Vigilantes. I liked Attack on Titans. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's, I have, anime and mangas that I fuck with for sure. So I know what it feels like to have some shit that you really rock with. But I just don't rock with JuJuistu Kaisen like that, bro. Again, the art and the manga is great, but the story, the character designs, and the anime, I'm good on. Okay, that's just my personal opinion. Okay, and I don't need anybody in the comments trying to explain shit to me. There's nothing that you can say that's gonna make me like it. Okay. I don't like it. That's that. If you like it, that's cool. That's your business. If you want to talk about how much you like it, you could talk about it on your own YouTube channel. Okay. Let's see here. All right. So next thing is up is Bill Burr and his wife. Okay. So Bill Burr and his wife attended a UFC event. Coincidentally at the same time that Donald Trump attended the event. Now, I'm not going to lie, guys. I don't remember the exact UFC event it was. I know it wasn't too long ago. I know it was about a month ago. Honestly, I want to say it was UFC 295. Okay, a lot of shit took place from UFC 295. But I can't say for sure it was UFC 295, but I think it was. And coincidentally, they had some seats like right next to Donald Trump, which I thought was really interesting. So, Bill Burr. Now, for those of you who do not know, Bill Burr is a pretty well-known comedian. Redhead Caucasian dude from Massachusetts. Believe he's like specifically from Boston somewhere or something like that. And he's married, has a child. His wife happens to be black. But you could tell that, they really care about each other and they love each other. And, they got some silly back and forth, and sometimes she even appears on his podcast. They're a pretty cool couple. Now, but, his wife being black, she tries to, now Bill Burr obviously is aware of the way America works, However, being married to like a black woman, he gets to, and now that his child is partially black, you know what I'm saying? So now it don't just affect a woman that he's in love with. Now it affects his own child, his own flesh and blood, because she happens to be black now, So it is important for him to know, how black people are treated in America, because his daughter is going to experience it. His wife definitely, speaks her mind. If she's not okay with something or she doesn't like someone, then she'll speak that. And I'm pretty sure she's made it well known that she is not a fan of Donald Trump. And for various reasons. And she doesn't feel positive thoughts about him. Okay, put it that way. So remember, they're sitting next to him at this UFC event. Now, every time Donald Trump goes to a UFC event, they take plenty of pictures of him. They even capture him on video and stuff, because that's it's a pretty interesting thing. Former president of the United States is at this, violent and sometimes even gruesome fighting matches and stuff. Now, granted, the UFC is legitimate as it gets. They have a lot of rules to make it, less barbaric, and they're a part of ESPN, guys. The same entity that NBA and NFL and stuff is a part of. So it's really not that bad. But it's cool when it's interesting when he's there, right? So they capture Donald Trump on video. They're filming him, and within this, you could see Bill Burr and his wife in the background. So when Bill Burr's wife, her name is Nia, when she looks at the video, she decides to throw up the middle finger, right? Now, again, they're right behind Donald Trump. So as she's doing this, Donald Trump is right there. And she has a look on her face like she's almost disgusted, right? So, since this has happened and since the picture has been made public to, the world, a lot of people are, saying that the fact that Nia did that, some people feel like it's disrespectful, which, I if somebody doesn't care for him, then it's one of those things where it's like, technically it's a free country, like her doing that, doesn't violate any laws or anything like that. Is it disrespectful? Of course. Of course it's disrespectful to curse somebody out or something like that. I agree with that. It's a form of disrespect, but it's not like, Donald Trump has never disrespected anybody in his life. Didn't he say something about, grabbing women, in the privates? You know what I'm saying? Isn't Donald Trump the one who encouraged, the people to riot the U.S. Capitol? And, people ended up getting injured, and I think one of the officers of the Capitol ended up dying. And then the people who he encouraged to riot the Capitol, now they're going to jail. They're going to prison. Is Donald Trump bailing them out? Is he putting money on their books? No. Can't you say that that's disrespectful? You know what I'm saying? There's people that were really, I was looking at some of the comments and they just had all this bad shit to say, but it's like, bro, you're taking it so personally, like Donald Trump is a saint. He ain't. Now, I don't know him on a personal basis and stuff, but from what I see, he definitely says and does things that, I don't rock with. You know what I'm saying? Now, does that mean that he doesn't do or say things that does that mean he doesn't say or do things that I do rock with? Of course not. Like, one thing that Donald Trump did when he was in office, I think was it Syria? I think was the name of the city or country. I guess they were bombing their own people or something with like chemicals, and then he threw airstrikes down on them, basically telling them like, hey, y'all better cut that shit out. You're not about to just kill innocent people. I rocked with Donald Trump on that. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, hey, bro, good on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that didn't even really have anything to do with us, but they were killing innocent people, and Donald Trump was like, nah, let me intervene. I fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? And, so various things like that, right? But then when the coronavirus came out and then he was saying offensive things towards, Asian people, it's like, come on, bro. So I say all that to say, let's calm down with defending Donald Trump here, because she just flipped the bird, bro. She didn't hurt him. He's gonna be okay. He probably don't even give a fuck. He probably don't even know who she is. It's whatever. That's I'm sure people flip fucking Barack Obama off all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so a lot of people feel that most of Bill Burr, her husband, who's a pretty well-known comedian, a lot of people feel like this is going to affect his fan base, because a lot of people believe that more than likely most of Bill Burr's fan base are, I guess you could say, Caucasian men, because a lot of people believe that a lot of Bill Burr's comedy is kind of like women hate or something like that and stuff. So they feel like more than likely most of his fan base is men, specifically Caucasian men. And, I guess, people believe that most of his fan base are probably Donald Trump supporters. So now he might lose a lot of his fan base. So me personally, bro, for one, to just assume that most of his fan base is Caucasian men is a little weird because I like Bill Burr and, I'm obviously not white. I'm half white, but I'm sure when people see me, they see a black man because I'm half black. But and then I've seen people on YouTube who are also black who are also really big fans of Bill Burr. So to assume that most of his fan base is white males, I think is a little weird. And then I've also seen a lot of women, at his specials and stuff. So to assume that most of his fan base is men, I think is a little weird. Even though Bill Burr might point out things that women do that are funny or, funny or weird or pathetic or, just whatever the case may be, he also points out things about men things that men do that's like weird and pathetic and, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of people just concentrate a lot more on the women stuff, but he balances it out, bro. So nah, I don't think that this is gonna affect his fan base. But if it does, I mean, honestly, bro, good riddance. Like who would want who wants evil people, who are so ridiculous that something his wife did, something that he could not control, the fact that she did it, they're going to like punish him for it, by not supporting him anymore. That means you was a sometime an ass fan anyway. Good riddance, bro. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're like a supporter of, Confederacy, the Confederate flag and stuff like that, which a lot of Donald Trump supporters, a lot of them be out there with that Confederate flag. And that Confederate flag is a symbol for, reminding people of the history of slavery and also advocating for the continuation of slavery. So, I don't think that Bill Burr wants those kind of fans anyway. So to be honest with you, I don't think he's gonna hurt at all for that. Now in regards to Bill Burr's comedy, do I think that Bill Burr's comedy is like sexist against women? No. Again, he points out things about men as well. Like I think that certain people are just focusing a lot on when he speaks about women, but it's not just things against women. I think that people just need to chill out with that shit. But yeah. So, that was the whole situation with Bill Burr's wife and flipping the camera off near Donald Trump. Yeah, I do think it was weird. Like. I guess the question is if I was Bill Burr and that was my wife and she did that, would I be upset? I don't know, bro, because you're married. You know what I'm saying? Like you're married. You and your wife are supposed to be one. Now, that's not to say that your partner can't do something that you don't fuck with. I mean, that shit happens all the time. Even me and my wife, bro. I love my wife and, we're in a lot of ways, we're kind of the same person, but there are times when she does things and I'm just like, whoa, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I don't rock with that at all. You know what I'm saying? So he could feel that way. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on how Bill Burr feels about Donald Trump as well. I don't think I've ever heard him really talk about Donald Trump and whether he's a supporter of Donald Trump or not, So, I mean, I don't know. So, yeah, I think it depends. I can't really speak on it. I can't really say if I was Bill Burr, would I be mad or not? Because again, I don't really know where his stance is on Donald Trump. And I really don't even know like how much of a supportive spouse he is. Like, does he feel like, nah, we're the same person. And, when you do something, I take on that load and vice versa, or if he's one of those people where it's like, nah, we married, but if you do something, don't hold me responsible for it. So it's like, what I'm saying? I don't really know. I'm not in their marriage, so I can't really say. But yeah, so that's that. All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about today, guys, is Mikey Williams. Okay, so for those of you who do not know, Mikey Williams was like, I can't say this for sure because I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure Mikey Williams was like probably the number one, like I don't know if he's a point guard or a shooting guard, but he was probably like the number one guard in the nation, in America. Really talented high school player, bro. Got a lot of skill, a lot of swag, and he's a really talented basketball player. So for whatever reason, I guess he was having a party at his house, and then some people came to his party who I guess he don't like. So he told them that they need to leave, and might have even said some other stuff, but I can't quote it. I don't know what he said specifically, but told them they need to leave. Apparently, they got in their car. Now, whether they were talking shit on the way out, I don't know, but apparently they got in their car, started driving away, and for whatever reason, as they started driving away, Mikey Williams grabs his firearm and starts shooting at their vehicle. Now, luckily, nobody got hit, nobody got injured or killed, thank God. But yeah, he shot at them with a deadly weapon. So it's like, and they called the police. He got arrested. He got charged, and he's been on this ongoing court case for it. So an article recently came out, or news report recently came out, stating that Mikey Williams pled guilty to all of his charges. However, Mikey Williams and the prosecutors in the court have came to an agreement that they are going to have him undergo anger management classes and a gun course. And once he completes these courses, his felony charges, because I believe his charges at the moment are felony level, but once he completes these, they will be dropped down to a misdemeanor, okay? And I'm assuming that all of this is being done in order to appease the public, making it seem like, well, we punished him for what he did, but it's more than likely the misdemeanor is still going to allow him to play for the college that he was committed to. I think they said he committed to it was like the University of Memphis, I want to say. It was Penny Hardaway's team. Penny Hardaway, I guess, is like the coach or something like that, and he committed to the Tigers, whatever team it is. I want to say it was Memphis. But yeah, so that's what he's gonna do. Now, what do I think about this? For one, and this has been said a million times by other people, so me saying this ain't gonna be nothing new. But for one, I think that the kid is, I think he's got a screw loose, to put himself in this position in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to say that I don't think he should have a firearm. Hey, you live in America, bro. You know what I'm saying? You never want to be caught lacking because, obviously there's been people out there who were, PNB Rock, Nipsey Hussle, a lot of people, got caught lacking. So I definitely don't think there's anything wrong with him having a firearm to defend himself because you never know what kind of situation you're going to be in. But, you got to understand, a firearm only needs to ever come out when your life or someone else's life is in danger. Okay. That's by law, bro. By law, you should not be shooting at anybody or killing anybody unless you are about to lose your life or another person is about to lose their life. That's the only way you can justify it and get off through a court system. Okay. Unless that's going down, you go into prison for murder, bro. Or manslaughter, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? So, understand that having a firearm is a huge responsibility to have restraint. You know what I'm saying? And understand there's only very severe conditions in which it should be pulled and used. You know what I'm saying? Um, Mikey Williams had a deal, I want to say it was with Puma, and he was getting paid like millions of dollars through this endorsement, that he was getting with them. And I think he lost it due to this incident. So he just lost a big ass payday. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. I just think it was really dumb of him to do that, and I mean, this is the other thing I think about this, bro. This is the other thing I think about this. I definitely feel like Mikey Williams is kind of getting off easy by only getting assigned to anger management classes and gun courses, right? I mean, to shoot at somebody, bro, because luckily nobody got hurt or killed, but it could have happened. I would assume that most of the time your normal person would at least do some jail time, for this. Am I saying I want him to do jail time? Not necessarily, but I think if you're not going to make someone like Mikey Williams do jail time, then maybe other people shouldn't do jail time either, under these kind of circumstances where nobody gets hurt, right? Because it's only fair. But I think normally a normal person would probably do some jail time, okay? I think that Mikey Williams, being Mikey Williams and having a lot of money, because I think even before he started making his money from Puma and I'm sure other things, I believe his family got money. So I think, look, bro, to me, I have no doubt that our justice system is corrupt and money talks. I think that the prosecutors and the judge and anyone else involved in making these decisions probably saw this as an opportunity to make some money. They probably said, oh, this Mikey Williams, like, hey, bro, we could, give him a slap on the wrist, essentially, if he gives us a nice bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know, bro. Have our people reach out to his people. Hey, bro, how much you want to pay to make this go away? How badly you want to go to college? How badly you want to go to the NBA? All right, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to need about $3 million. You know what I'm saying? My prosecutor gonna need about $1 million. You know what I'm saying? We need a vacation. That's the thing. Don't be surprised if this prosecutor and the judge and shit go on vacation not too shortly after this trial is done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. Just saying. I think that Mikey Williams greased some palms. I think that's what that is. Because he getting off easy, bro. He getting off easy. But hey, good for him. Good for him, I just hope that he don't do no shit like this in the future. And yeah, bro, like, you need to check your attitude. Like, like I said, they could have been talking some shit on their way out the door, but they leaving your spot though, bro. They leaving the spot anyway. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, bro, let's go back to the times where we solve problems with these, bro. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to solve problems with guns. That's some pussy shit, bro. If you really had a problem with them, you could have been like, hey, bro, get out the car. Come catch this fade real quick. Then I'm going to send you on your fucking way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have fought the dude, possibly beat him down and been like, yeah, now get the fuck up out of here. And everybody would have been cool. You wouldn't have got the cops called on you, bro. You wouldn't have be going through all of this. It's because y'all niggas are so quick to pick up a gun and try to shoot somebody because you too scared to get hit. Essentially, let's keep it real. That's really what it is, bro. People are scared to get hit. People are scared to take a beating. But I kind of feel like if you scared to get into it with somebody like that, bro, then just keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? For real. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that, But like I said, good for Mikey Williams. He is an amazing basketball player. I am looking forward to seeing him play basketball again. I would like to see that. But can't deny that this whole situation seems a little shady, because I feel like if this was a normal nigga with not a bunch of money, they'd probably be going to jail. Just saying. But all right, guys. So that is the podcast for today. Again, this is the I'm Just Saying podcast, episode 4 by Anime Love. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit subscribe, hit like, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.